All right, first fish of the day. Oh snap, right there. Man, he's a fighter.
Yeah, so small.
Well, I guess that's a fish. Oh, dude, that's a good eater, man. Here you go. He swallowed it, so he's gonna die. He's already bleeding. Well, we're just gonna take a short break from hunting, and today we're gonna do some fishing. We still have some hunting videos on the way, but today we're actually just doing some more trout fishing, winter trout fishing. A lot of these eastern Washington lakes are finally open because this lake that I'm here at right now, 4th of July Lake, it's a winter lake, meaning that it's only open through the winter months, and then during the summer it's actually closed. And then there are some lakes where it's closed during the winter but it's open during the summer. So these lakes, they alternate in terms of when they're closed and when they're open. Today I'm out here with Timothy and we're just bottom fishing pretty much. It's been a while since I've touched a fishing pole or fishing tackle in general, so today we're just gonna try to catch whatever that's willing to bite, whether it's a 12-inch trout, a 17-inch trout, or a 29-inch trout. I don't really care because I'm just excited to be fishing again, to be honest. So with that being said, since we want to catch fish, I'm just gonna quickly go over my setup that we're going to be using today. Granted, I do have 2 setups today, but the concept is essentially the same because they all fall under the same rig. But for my main rod, this right here is the Daiwa Triforce rod. This is a 7'2" medium fast action rod. I've got a Shimano Sahara 2500 reel, and I've got 15-pound Power Pro braid. Now, generally speaking, for trout fishing, I like to use 10-pound for my main line, but it's just that this reel just came with 15-pound line and the line was still good, so I didn't want to just swap it out just because it was 15 pounds and not 10 pounds. So it's a little heavy, but again, I'm not going to swap it out just to have 10 pounds because it'll work. What I have here is called a Carolina rig, and basically it just consists of 4 different pieces of equipment excluding your line. So you have your main line, again 15-pound braid, and then I have a 1/2 ounce weight, and then I have a bead, and then I have a swivel, and then I have a leader which is about 3 feet long, and then I have this little eagle claw bait holder hook, and this is a size 8. And then what I have for bait is I just have some power bait power eggs, and these are just the orange color. These things right here and power bait, when you throw them out in the water, they're gonna float up into like the middle column of the water. Because with trout, they're a visual fish, meaning that they see stuff and then they attack it, versus some other fish, they rely a lot more on their smell rather than eyesight when they're gonna feed. For my other rod, it's basically the same rig. It's just that instead of using these power eggs, I'm just using good old power bait. So here's what we got going on. Since it's our first time at this lake this year, all we're trying to do is we're just trying to cover water. So we have 2 rods right now casted to the left in front of us, and then with my 3rd rod I'm going to cast towards the right. That way our rod setup and where our bait are is covering as much water as possible, rather than just having all your bait sit in one spot where the fish may not even be. So we're just trying to pinpoint where these fish might be congregated, and then we can then all focus onto that one spot if we're catching fish there. You don't want to just cast into the same spot and then figure out later in the day that the fish are actually over here, or vice versa, or something along those lines. First thing is always find the fish.
I know, I saw it too. Dude. There you go. Baby. You got it?
He's a very small fish, but he bit big. So this is an ultralight rod, and I've got 6 pound test on here, so I've got my drag set really loose. Right there, got him. Gonna tire him out because we're gonna keep this guy too. We're gonna do a good catch and cook. Right there. Boom. That's another good eater, dude. Just a good eater. For this rod, it's the same rig as my other rod, but this is just on a much smaller scale. So this is only a 5' 6" rod with a Shimano Sienna 500 reel, 6 pound mono for my main line. And then my leader is also 6 pound mono. There's no difference between my main line and my leader. But instead of using a 1/2 ounce weight, this one only has a 1/4 ounce weight. And then it just has a smaller bead and then a slightly smaller swivel. And then I just have about a 2 feet leader. And then I'm just gonna tie on these Eagle Claw treble hooks, size 16. If I'm not planning to keep the fish and I'm just planning to do catch and release, I won't use treble hooks. But today, Timothy and I were trying to fill our bellies and trying to fill the freezer. So that's why I don't mind using treble hooks, because you know, it just has 3 hooks. If you're gonna be releasing the fish, having 3 hooks is gonna do a lot more harm than you want to the fish. So I would stick with single hooks. But again, since we're doing a freezer filler type of fishing today, I'm just going with treble hooks. So this was the power bait that I caught that fish off of, and this is the sherbet color. This is one of my favorites. My other favorite is this power bait rainbow color, and again, this is just a chartreuse orange yellow type of color mixed together, but I caught that fish using this sherbet color, so we're just gonna stick to it. So all we do here is, if you've never used power bait, you don't want to use a lot, you just want enough to cover the hook. So power bait is essentially a dough bait, and so once you scoop out a little, just put the lid back on, and then you're gonna take your scoop and you're just gonna basically roll it into a little ball. Basically, you're just trying to take out all the air pockets. So once you roll it around a little bit, all you're gonna do is take this ball and just slide it up your hook. And the general rule of thumb is you just want enough power bait to cover your hook. If you have excess power bait on there, it can be a little bit harder to have the hook actually penetrate the fish's mouth, just because there's so much dough in the way. So the general rule of thumb for power bait is keep it as small as possible, just covering the hook enough so that the hook doesn't show. And once you have that ball just all set onto your hook, you're ready to cast. So we tried fishing to the left side, didn't really get any hits. Came to the middle, we got a lot more hits, and so we're just gonna stick to the middle because that seems like where these fish are hanging out. Just gonna go to our awesome rod holder, also known as grass, and we're just gonna reel in our slack until our line is tight, and we're just gonna set this rod down. Fish on, dude. It's a nice one. Oh snap. That was like a 5-minute wait right there. This ultralight is killing them. They don't want the big heavy rods, but they want the ultralight rod. But it's perfect fighting because these fish are tiny. Like, look at that. Boom. These are just perfect size for the frying pan. man, they're really wanting it. They're like just choking it. Well, there we go, folks. That is fish number 3, and these are like the perfect fish for the frying pan. There's a lot of big trophy trout in this lake, which are always fun to catch, but when it comes to table fare, it's hard to beat these little guys because cut the head off and gut them out. They fit right into that perfect little size frying pan, and just delicious. So that is 2 fish off of this sherbet color. The first one was caught off of this rainbow color. So at this rate, there's not really a pattern as to what color they prefer, but since this is in the lead with 2 fish, we're just gonna say they're preferring pink.
Ooh. Got it on video too, so it's pretty cool. Oh, dude, go, he's on, dude. Oh, wait. Go. Fish on. Oh, I don't know. You did it?
I got mine.
My God.
I think I'm oh, I'm to the left of you. Dude, yours hiccup big. Oh, you got one. Oh, double.
Wow.
Double. Let's go. Dude, let's go. Oh. Did you guys see how epic that was? Timothy's rod almost flew in the water. He set the hook and it looked like there was no fish on there. And then I looked at my rod and my rod started doing that too. And so I went and picked up my rod, I set the hook, I had mine on. We didn't even know Timothy had his on. But then when we reeled them, both our lines close, like we had our own fish on our own line. So earlier I told you guys that I was testing out the power eggs from Power Bait. And this is my first fish ever using that bait. So there's the 2 little orange power eggs. And then again, there's my little eagle claw hook. It's a bait holder hook. And I just got them on the side of the lip. So perfect hook set. There's my fish, there's Timothy's fish. Same size, about the same hatchery and stuff like that. And so 2 more good eaters into the bucket. So here at 4th of July, Timothy.
Oh, that's a big one.
Oh. Okay, I'll get back to you guys as to what I just said. This is fish number 5 for me. I'm limit if I land this fish. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna play it light with him. Don't want to break this guy off. I only have 6-pound test. A lot of head shakes. He's right here. Oh my gosh. Come on, baby. You see that big rock right there? I'm trying to avoid that rock so my line doesn't get frayed. That's a good fish. He's not a big, but an improvement. Oh, it's a good 15-16 incher. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, let's try to land this beast. Get up here. Oh my gosh, Timmy. He's not the biggest, but look how chromy that fish is. Okay, so let me finish what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by this fish. But here at 4th of July Lake, if you have the 2-pole endorsement, you can fish 2 poles at the same time, and that's what I've been doing all day. But when I had 4 fish and I didn't catch this guy yet, instead of using 2 poles, I just went back to 1 pole to reduce the risk of accidentally catching 2 fish at the same time and then accidentally catching 6 fish instead of my limit of 5. And so as I was walking over here to show you guys my single rod, my rod started going down. So I was like, Timmy, here's the camera. And then we just pulled a nice one. This is my 5th fish of the day, so I'm done. I'm limited out, so it's all Timmy now. But that's a good fish to end the day right there, if you ask me. That's a good, I don't know, 16, 17. I have a tape measure, so we'll measure it. But dude, that is so awesome, dude. Give me some.
Nice catch, man. The biggest one we got today.
I know. So here at 4th of July Lake, in my opinion, it's what I consider a hot and cold lake. When this lake is on fire, like, the fishing is crazy. But on the other end of the spectrum, when the fishing is off, it is probably one of the worst lakes I've ever fished. So it really just depends on what day you come out here, that it's gonna dictate how well your fishing experience is gonna be. And sometimes it's not whether or not they're active. Sometimes they're actually really picky. Some days they only want orange colored baits / lures. Other days they only want pink. Some days they only want chartreuse. Some days they just want bait. They don't want moving lures. Some days they just want spinners. Sometimes they just want lures like Ned rigs and stuff like that. So when you come out here, make sure that you have a variety of lures and baits and different rigs. That way you can really maximize your efficiency out here on the water. Right now I'm going to show you guys a pretty simple way to basically gut the fish and take off the head. So what I like to do is I'll just take my knife and I'll just flip my blade up. So my blade, the sharp end is right here. And I'll start at its vent or its anus and just slowly slit up. You can tell my fillet knife's not that sharp because I haven't sharpened it, but it's basically just gonna go all the way up to all the way right here. And then if you want to, you can just remove the gills, but I'm just gonna cut off the head. So I'm just gonna go right behind his head right here. And I forgot my my cutting board, so we're just gonna have to make use with the ground. So we're just gonna cut off the head, and then once you cut off the head, you can see, once you cut off the head, you can basically just pull the head along with pretty much all of its guts in one piece. So you have the head right there and all the guts, and this goes right back into the water to feed other stuff. And then if you look up along its spine right here, this is its kidney. I'd like to call it the bloodline, but it's actually the kidney. And all you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your thumb or your knife and you're just gonna smush it out like that. And once you smush it out like that, all you need is a quick and clean rinse, and then your trout is basically ready to go. You can scale the fish if you want, but to me the trout scales don't bother me, so I'm okay with the scales on there. But that's it right there, a very quick and easy way to clean a trout. Just rinse this trout in some extremely bitter cold ice water, and then once we rinse this, then we're ready to go. Just wipe your hands, kill all that bacteria and germ that's been growing on your hand because you've been busy touching fish and power bait and power eggs, just everything in between. So now that we have our fish all ready to go, the next thing is to prepare our marinade. So today we've got some maple syrup and we just got some good old Kikkoman soy sauce. We're basically going to mix these two right in that little cup right there, and that's going to be our marinade for our fish. So since we're outside and we don't have our kitchen with us, I'm basically going to eyeball everything because I don't have like measuring cups or anything. So today we're just going to do about 50-50. So 50% maple syrup, 50% soy sauce. Now the maple syrup is a lot thicker than the soy sauce, so you really want to make sure that you take the time to stir so that everything's evenly distributed. That way you don't have clumps of syrup and then clumps of soy sauce. So just take your time and just thoroughly stir and mix the soy sauce and maple syrup together. I just sprayed the aluminum foil with some cooking spray. That way the aluminum foil just doesn't stick to the trout. So right now I'm just gonna basically take this little spoon and basically pour this maple slash soy sauce mix over it. I'm gonna fold them over too, so they're gonna be evenly distributed here. Alright, so there it is. We just made a quick lunch. Right here we have a maple syrup trout recipe. It's literally just maple syrup mixed with soy sauce, and then you marinate your fish in it, and then you grill your fish, and then once the fish is done, just lightly pour your sauce over the fish again, and then serve it with whatever side dish you want to serve it with. Right now we just got some organic salad with some ranch, and then alongside with that we just have some potato salad. So a lot of salad in this recipe, but I guess you could say eat kind of healthy when you're out here. All right, dear God, I just thank you for this wonderful day that you blessed Timothy and I with. Today we just came out here to the lake to do some trout fishing and to just enjoy each other's company and just fellowship together, Lord. Right now we're going to eat our lunch with the 2 trout that you blessed us earlier with. And I just pray that as we continue to fish throughout the day, I pray that you be with us, keep us safe from harm's way, Lord. And we pray that whatever we do glorifies your name only, Lord. In Christ's name I pray, amen. So here we go. I apologize if the lighting is bad, but we have potato salad, an actual salad with ranch, but we're just gonna try the trout because it's only fitting, because it's a maple syrup trout. You gotta get the skin with it too. The skin's like the best part. It's a very light flavor. I guess it's not overpowering, but
it's not bad.
Yeah,
There's still a little bit of sweetness to it.
Yeah, just a good touch. I think the key is you have to eat it all together at once.
Oh, yeah.
I just did that. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So do the trout, and then do a little bit potato salad, and then do just whatever greens. All right, so Timothy and I are getting ready to just clean up, and then once we run out of light or whenever Timothy catches his limit, then we're just ready to go because we have all our stuff laid out. So that's something I want to remind you guys is if you guys come out fishing, whether you're just fishing or you're doing catch and cook like I am today, always have a plan to pack out your trash, because nobody likes to go fishing and find a bunch of trash at their fishing spot. So with that being said, I want to take this time to address a question that I get a lot. The question is, how do you find places to go fishing? I'm going to reveal a secret to you guys. It's not really a secret because this is public information, and literally you can research this if you wanted, because that's how I do it. It's free information for the public, but for some reason a lot of people don't know about this. So here's the thing. Go to google.com and literally search up rainbow trout WDFW. The first website that should show up is a direct link to the rainbow trout page from the Washington Fish and Game. And if you scroll down, there should be a section that says where to fish. Click on that tab and it will literally show you where you can go trout fishing. That is probably the easiest way for you to go and find new places to go fishing if you don't know where to go fishing. But for some reason, a lot of people don't know that there's that resource. So I figured this is a good time to just refer you to those resources, because heck, a lot of these places I find out, that's exactly how I do it. Just a quick Google search and then click a couple links. Voila, you got a whole list to yourself. That being said, I'm gonna clean up now. Well, I literally finished. As soon as I finished, you could have said, hey, I got a fish.
It's coming up right here.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh, no.
No, he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a fighter, dude. It's okay. You got 15-pound line and 10-pound test over there. He's not gonna break you off.
at that.
Heck yeah. Fish number 4. Dude, that's an improvement.
Yeah, this is.
That's an improvement. Let me show them real quick.
Go ahead.
This is the 3rd fish of the day with the Berkeley power eggs.
This is my 4th.
Yeah, it's your 4th one. I know. You need one more fish, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Here's your fish. Yeah, good hook set, dude.
Yeah.
Right on the side of the lip. Yeah.
Twice, and then the 3rd time I set him.
Yeah. Well, I literally just got done talking to you guys. I literally shut off my GoPro, shut off the camera that I'm recording right now, and I look over to Timothy, and he's in the position to set the hook. I'm scrambling to turn on my cameras again, and then Timothy already set the hook. But this is Timothy's 4th fish of the day. So I really need to get to cleaning so that by the time I'm done cleaning, hopefully Timothy gets his limit of 5 fish. Timothy is still on the grind to catch his last fish to get his limit for the day. So far, it's been pretty dead. But if Timothy doesn't catch his last fish, then here's the scoreboard for our bait today. You gotta, really? Speak of the devil. Oh, fish on!
Yeah.
Oh my god! No way!
Oh my god.
Wow! You got landed, bro.
It's pretty light though. I don't know.
Hey, it's a fish.
It is pretty. Oh, no way.
He came off?
Yeah, it came off.
Oh, the real choke.
No. Wow.
Throw him back out there.
Okay. Dang.
Okay. Complete false alarm.
Oh.
So, anyway, before I was really distracted by a guy who thought he had a fish,
Hey.
I give it to him. That was 100% a fish. He lost it right at the shore, so probably just didn't get that good of a hook set on it. Back to what I was saying. So today we used 3 different types of baits. We used 2 power baits, or 2 different versions of power bait, and then we also used 1 version of power eggs. And so today the winner for catching the most fish between Timothy and my limit is the power bait sherbet color, basically the pink color. This one today caught us 6 fish out of our 9 fish. Second place would be the power bait power eggs in the orange color. This one caught us 2 fish. And then last but not least, one of my favorite colors, the power bait rainbow color. This one caught us 1 fish. If Timothy landed that fish right there, that would have been 3 fish for the power bait power eggs. Obviously the clear winner is the pink one right here, but I don't know. I feel like today they were really just hitting on whatever that they swam across. So we have about 20 minutes left of daylight here, and if Timothy unfortunately does not get his last fish, then we're gonna go home and we'll come back out another time. Well, Tim didn't catch his 5th fish, but there's a porcupine for you. Thanks for watching.